Okay. So, here we are. We're gonna start the run in, I guess, 3, 2, 1, go. So this is Pokemon Yellow. It is the third Gen 1 main series Pokemon game. And the only Pokemon game I've ever played. We're gonna start out by naming ourselves and our rival simple one-character names. I like to go with I and J because they're different, and they're just as fast as A. That's very important just because of the number of times that our name is going to be said. It saves a lot of time over the course of the run. First thing, kind of similar to red and blue, we're going to go into here, but actually we encounter a Pikachu here, and Professor Oak catches it for us. And that changes everything, I guess, between this run and red and blue. Most of this intro, we just need to mash through text and cutscenes. Here, Professor Oak wants to give us the Pokemon inside of that ball, but our rival, we're just gonna call him Jay. Jay doesn't want to have any of that. So he takes the Pokemon because he wants his own. So Professor Oak, feeling bad for us, gives us the Pikachu. We don't want to name it because that's slow. And now Jay, being our rival, wants to fight. So we're fighting Eevee versus Pikachu. The outcome of this fight will determine a lot of the things that happen in this run because of some mechanics. If I win this fight, then Jay will take a specific team, and if I lose this fight, my rival will take a team that I like less. That should be winning the fight right now, although that was very scary. From the very beginning, if it had used Tackle any more times, then I would have lost. So anyways, that puts me on what are called Flareon strats. The number of what team your rival chooses is based on how many times you beat him out of the first 2 encounters with him. So we only fight him the first time because the second time is completely optional. And because of that, we can only win 0 or 1 times. If we win 0 times, he grabs a Vaporeon because Vaporeon is weak against electric types such as Pikachu, which you're expected to keep throughout the entirety of the game. If you beat him once, he chooses a Flareon and its team, and that team is harder to beat. It's neutral against Pikachu, and so what we end up with is slightly more experience in certain later fights. Now, I've just completely forgotten which direction to go because I haven't been paying attention. But right now, we're just completing the first kind of quest in the game, where we have to deliver a parcel to Oak. This is his custom Pokeball. And basically this is just setting up stuff so that we can go past Viridian Town. Now, there's a reason we talk to Professor Oak from the back, and that is because our rival is a lot slower than us in moving. Your rival moves more than twice as slow as you, so whenever you can, what you want to do is make sure that he is moving for less time on screen than you are, even if you have to move extra times to make that happen. Now our next objective is we need to get to the Pokémon, and that will let us, now that we've delivered the parcel, we can buy some stuff. What we want to buy is some Pokeballs, and okay, that's just bad luck. That's the shortest amount of time that you can go without, before getting a second encounter after a first. Anyways, we need Pokeballs and potions. The balls are to catch a couple of Pokemon that we're going to need. I'm going to get 5 of them for safety. And the potions are to heal because we will have to take damage. Pretty much a given. We're going to buy 6 of those because that's how much we need with our money situation. This old man's gonna teach us how to catch Pokemon. He's not the greatest at it. He can't even catch that Rattata. So we're just gonna go on past, and we're gonna show that old man how it's done, hopefully. Right here, I'm going to be saving and resetting on a specific tile. That one. And then I'm going to do a very specific sequence of inputs. Hopefully the end result of that will be a male Nidoran level 6 with a perfect attack EV. And this is probably it. Yes. Now, if I had done that perfectly, I would be guaranteed to catch this as well, but I did not do this perfectly. I just got lucky. Now, we do want to nickname the Nidoran. I go with B because I've already used I and J, and using A is lame. Now, it's important to note that Nidoran has a perfect attack, which is absolutely critical for what we're going to be doing here. We really need that perfect attack, just because of how everything works out. Now we are in the Viridian Forest. And we're gonna fight some bugs. These Caterpies can use either String Shot or Tackle. Tackle is a faster move, but it doesn't really matter in the end result. You just want to get through them as quickly as possible. Now, it's important to note here that if I have used Leer in a fight this early on, I really don't want to get a crit. The reason for that is the damage from a critical hit in this game is always based on the base damage, and it never factors in anything else other than base damage to the criticals. So if your opponent's defense is lowered, it doesn't matter. It'll just take in the critical damage. Our main goal for this part is that we want to get Nidoron up to level 12 before we face Brock. And we want to get a Pidgey. So we're fighting the trainers that we need to get up to that level. And then we're going to catch a Pidgey. Now a string shot there is bad because we want to be able to guarantee quicker kill on the Metapod. It's very scary. And actually I'm going to have to heal now because of that crit. Which is very bad on this fight. Because this Metapod knows Harden and it loves to use Harden. And our basic plan for this fight is we want to use Leer until Metapod doesn't use Harden. So that way its defenses are definitely lowered. And then we use Horn Attack, and no matter what, it should die within 2 to 3 hits here. Because it used Harden there, it'll be 3. Now I save on that specific tile, and I'm going to do another. This is going to be kind of 2 things in one. Hopefully I should get no encounters for the rest of the forest until I reach the last trainer, which is a mandatory fight. And additionally, I should, at the very end, right in front of the trainer, encounter a Pidgey. And we got it. And we got the YOLO Ball too. So we don't want to nickname the Pidgey because we're not going to be using it so much. We're not going to be seeing its name a lot. We're very nearly out of the forest now. Just this encounter, and then the Bless RNG Fest that is the end of the forest. There's really no good way to continue the manip of the game through to here. So you can often get quite a few random encounters between that trainer and the end of the forest. So getting one is fine. Now what we want to do is heal. We should not need these anymore. And that heal is very important because we're about to be going into one of the easiest to lose fights in the game. This is the fight against Brock's trainer. Not Brock, but the trainer before Brock. Very easy to die. And in fact, I'm going to save before it, if I can find the save button for marathon safety. This trainer's Pokemon have incredible critical rates. You really want, if you're at full health, at 32 health, you want one critical. I really don't want one critical. I don't need one critical right now. So I'd prefer none. Of course, the Diglett has like a 20% crit chance and it hit on its first one. So that'll happen. Oh my goodness, that's a Gen 1 miss on Leer. In this game, 100% accuracy moves have a chance to miss. Because of a quirk in the code. So that was an instance of that. If I recall correctly. I might not recall correctly. In any case, we've learned Double Kick. And that was the main important thing before getting to Brock. None of our other moves that we used were even normally effective against Brock. But Double Kick is double effective. Which really helps speed the thing up. I have used the wrong move there. And I've just used the wrong move again. As you can see, I'm well practiced at this game. I think this should still kill it, though. This order. Screech is gonna drop our defenses a lot. That's not very good. And it happening again is also not very good. And in fact, I think I'm gonna heal here, just for safety in case it decides to use Tackle. Okay, Bide is absolutely fine. Playing it safe. So now we've defeated Brock. That is our first gym battle. And it is the last one that we're going to have for about half an hour. Next thing that we need to do is we need to get through Mount Moon to Cerulean City. Cerulean City is where Misty is, but we're going to ignore her for a little bit while we level up. So, our first order of business is just get through Route 3. There's a lot of bugs here. Now, you noticed me during the Brock battle switching a couple moves around. That's just throughout the course of the run, I'm going to be switching moves a couple times to get them into either closer spots to the beginning or right at the beginning so I can just mash. This is Shorts Guy. He likes shorts because they're comfy and easy to wear. Can't say I blame him, but I'm more of a sweatpants guy. His Rattata knows quick attack, so it's important to be at good health before that fight. Because if it crits you with quick attack, it can do up to 15 damage. Thankfully, I healed a good while ago, so I was fine. Ekans is a bit annoying because it knows Wrap. Thankfully, it doesn't only know Wrap, it knows 2 other moves, Leer and Poison Sting. Both of those moves are much better than Wrap. For our purposes. Because Wrap is a multi-turn move, and it's very slow. Now, that's a double-edged sword missing the range on that Weedle. I haven't really explained ranges, but your damage isn't a set value. It can actually be anything in quite a wide range, depending. Sometimes it's set, sometimes it's a range. In any case, there are a lot of Pokemon that we tend to one-shot throughout the run, but if we get unlucky, we can miss ranges on them. There's also good ranges where we can hit a range and not miss it, which is far superior in my opinion. So now that we've reached level 16, we're going to evolve into a Nidorino. As long as I don't press B, I've done it before. I think a lot of people have done it before. It's embarrassing. In the middle of a speed run, you just do the exact opposite of what you want to do, and there's no reason for it. This is our last bug catcher. Last guy said he would have won if he had new Pokemon. This guy claims to have them, but he still can't win. Because first things first, we are now a Nidorino, which is slightly more powerful than a Nidoron. Second of all, these bugs can't do anything against us, really. First of all, Metapod only knows Harden, so that's a thing. It can't do anything against us. I missed that range, which is sad. Right there, we go around that person. If we get an encounter, that's just too bad. I didn't get one. I was almost hoping for it, because it's really funny to get an encounter there sometimes. My favorite encounter to get there is Mankey. Shoutouts to Wanley. So now we need to go to the center, because of many reasons. First of all, we don't want Pikachu anymore. Pikachu takes up space and actually lags the game. Second of all, we are completely out of Horn Attack moves. I'm going to need quiet time for the next approximately minute and a half. This is very intense. Ah, I failed it near the end. But there was most of the Mount Moon manip. Basically, through flashing start and pressing A at specific times, you can manage to manipulate the RNG such that you will avoid an encounter through the entirety of Mount Moon. About 255 out of 256 times. Approximately. So now we evolve into a Nido King. And we fight this super nerd. What we don't want here is to have Horn Attack disabled. Horn Attack is our most powerful move, and it's what we use 5 times in this fight. Well, another thing we don't want to do is use the wrong move, but I'm not as good at that. Thank you for not letting me use the wrong move. Oh, that was a bad roll. I got a bad damage roll there, and I can tell because the coughing isn't more than half HP, and that means that I've missed the range there. So now for the rest of Mount Moon, we're also going to get random encounters. Thankfully, there's not much left other than a fight. Jesse and James are here. I don't know why. I've never played the game casually, so I wouldn't know why they're here. They fight you, they have an Ekans, it can use Wrap. It's annoying if it hits, but it doesn't always hit. You know what also doesn't always hit? Tackle. Tackle is a 55% move in Generations 1 and 2 of Pokémon. In the more recent generations, it is not a 95% accurate move. It is a 100% accurate move, if I recall correctly. That critical hit for that last hit on the wheezing, coughing, I've already forgotten what it is. But that helped. That was faster because that coughing is a 2-turn range. So now we have access to Cerulean City. And so we're going to go to Cerulean City. We're going to pop in. We're going to say hi. We're not going to be here for very long. We're going to go into this guy's house. Hello, guy. We're going to go out the back. We're going to steal his candy. He hit it, but we know where it is. I'm actually going to save before this fight. Because it's scary. It scares me. I am very frightened by this fight. because it is very easy to die. Spearow knows Growl. Growl will reduce my attack, and that's bad, because that means I don't kill everything as fast. Fury Attack does quite a bit of damage if it hits more than 2 times. Otherwise, its damage is reasonable. Sandshrew knows Sand Attack, and Sand Attack is my least favorite. If it uses Sand Attack and hits, your accuracy falls. It's not great, because it can use it multiple times and then your accuracy falls quite a bit. Thankfully, if you do hit through the accuracy drop, your attacks are stronger because of a badge boost. And that makes things that aren't ranges, or things that are ranges, into not ranges. Like that Eevee. Killing that Eevee would normally be a range, I believe. Or impossible, it's one of the two. But because it used 2 sand attacks and I hit anyways, it was an easy kill. So now we're already leaving Cerulean City because we need to take a trip up the Nugget Bridge. We need to give good old Bill a visit. Bill is going to give us a ticket onto the SSN. The SSN is a place that we want to be. So, we need to be, really, because of story progression items. So we're going to go up here first, and we're going to level up quite a bit. The leveling up part is pretty important, because right now we have a Nidoking. Nidoking is a poison ground type, and Misty's gym is a water type gym, if you're familiar with anything from Gen 1. Oh, that Pidgey is a range and it just used Sand Attack and then Quick Attack. I'm sad now. And the Nidoran used Growl. I'm fine though. A lot of bad moves were used, but nothing came out of it, thankfully. Now, at the end of our encounter with this young mad lad, we are going to level up to level 21. And that is important because we have 2 rare candies. And at level 23, our Nidoking is going to use a very important move. This move is called Thrash, and it is quite powerful. What we do now is we're going to use those 2 rare candies, and we are going to get up to level 23 so we can learn Thrash. We wanted Elite Tackle, because Tackle is closer to the top, and we don't really need to use it anymore. Ugh. So now, we're going to see the power of Thrash right away if I hit the correct buttons. I was supposed to swap the moves and then use it, but my key that I have bound to select just decided not to. So I guess we're going to have to wait a bit to see the power of Thrash. Anyways, Thrash is a very helpful move. Because it makes a lot of fights faster and is very powerful. As long as we can finish a fight in 3 turns or less, it's pretty much always going to be Thrash that we're using. So now we've reached the end of the Nugget Bridge. We get our wonderful prize. It's a nugget, who'd have guessed? And this guy asks us to join Team Rocket. We're not given the option to join. I think because that would ruin the storyline of the game, but you know. Here we're going to see Thrash is a move that automatically will happen every turn after we use it first. And you will see the text B is thrashing about when that happens, or B's thrashing about. Basically, that's faster than actually going through and selecting. We need this Charmander. We don't need to give it a nickname, though. We're going to fight this bottom hiker. If we had lost the first fight, which we were very close to doing again, we would have had to fight the top hiker because of money concerns. And also experience concerns. This is one of the last fights that we are not going to use our Thrash on, and that's because Double Kick will kill in 2 turns and Thrash will not. Also, Double Kick will kill in 1 turn if it criticals, which is nice. I was supposed to talk to this girl. Her boyfriend is cool. I don't know about that. But that's what she says, so I'm gonna take her word for it. Most of the fights at this point, you don't really have to pay attention to, because I just thrash everything. Now this guy is supposedly the boyfriend. Or at least I think so, because he says he's a cool guy and that he has a girlfriend. And if you take what we remember from before, that girl said that her boyfriend was cool. So I think that those two are together. I have used the wrong move, because I'm thinking too hard. I'm pretty sure that those two are together. And I'm pretty sure, and you know what that does? That makes me confused. It makes me confused to think that those two are together, because if that's the boyfriend of that girl, why aren't they next to each other? Why aren't they, like, with each other? Are they trying to avoid each other? What's the point of this? Anyways, I don't know, because I've never played the game casually. That's just my opinion. If anyone in the chat has a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. So this is Bill. Wait, no, it's a Pokemon. Nope, it's Bill. In an experiment, he got turned into a Pokemon? Something? I don't know. I just mash through his text every time, so I haven't taken the time to read it recently. In any case, he's a Pokemon. Now he's not. There he is. Hi, Bill. We're gonna talk to him. He's gonna give us a ticket. We need the ticket. There's a lot of text, but I don't really think it's important because I've never played the game casually. Something about he doesn't like parties. I relate to Bill in that way. I also don't like parties. Now right here, what we're going to do is we're going to heal ourselves. We're only at about half HP. And we want all our moves restored so we can use Thrash a bunch more times. And we want all our health restored for this gym. Very important to have full health here, because Misty's Pokemon are very tough to beat. And also you can get confused very easily here. So basically both of these fights we're just going to Thrash and Pray. It seems to have worked there because Goldeen used Peck, which is the best move it can use. Does the least damage and doesn't confuse us. I'm going to save here for safety. Misty's going to ask us our policy on Pokemon. Our policy is pretty much Thrash at the moment, as Misty's about to find out. So we're going to use Thrash to start. That's kind of a running theme so far. It kills the Staryu in one hit, and then we come up on the Starmie. The Starmie is difficult to deal with. Water Gun is a good move to see. Water Gun critting is not good to see. But the fact that we managed to continue to Thrash is, or rather that Misty didn't use an X Defend, is good. Because Misty can use an X Defend there, and if that happens, that can turn a 3-turn fight into a 4-turn fight. And 4-turn Thrashes are Monka-ass, as we might see later. Anyways, we've beat Misty, we have the SS ticket. Now it's time to beat up a Rocket. This Rocket stole a TM, apparently. I don't know from whom, because I have never talked to the NPCs in that house, or to the policemen outside. But we just thrashed this guy. New thought? Something new for this fight? So he gives us this TM. We don't give it back to whoever he stole it from. I don't know why this is. Probably because we're speedrunning and we're not nice people. In any case, this is the most important trick of the run. Got it. Right there I skipped the jingle that you normally hear when you find a hidden item. It is literally the only thing in this game that I've never failed. As in, I have literally failed everything else in this game except for that. Now, a lot of the next upcoming Pokemon, no Quick Attack. We don't want them to use Quick Attack, because Quick Attack is not fun for us. It does damage, and we don't want to take very much damage right now. Now coming up next, we're going to be going into a city. I don't remember its name because we never fly there. It might be Vermilion. Might not be. In any case, we're gonna enter the mode here. We're going to get some repels. And we're going to sell a couple of things. We're not going to sell our potion, we might need that. But we're going to sell our nugget and our TM 34. And that's going to give us the money that we're going to need later. Now we're on the SSN. We're gonna make a beeline for the captain right now. Because this boat is not moving and we want this boat to move, because moving the boat progresses the story. Oh no, it's Jay. What is he doing here? And when did he learn French? I don't know, I've been making fun of France literally all day in marathons. You're gonna have to put up with it for a while. So right here, I have done a bad thing, and that is probably going to cost me. I was supposed to teach B the move Bubble Beam before this fight, and I just straight up didn't do that. So I'm just going to be double kicking this Sand Shrew. It's going to use Sand Attack, which sucks. Like, when you use these 100% moves, they're supposed to be like 50, but it's not. It's definitely not. Anyways, the thing that we're supposed to be using double kick on in this fight. And we're done. I hate how in this run we don't get to hear more of that theme. We're gonna rub the captain's back. And he's gonna like that. He's a cut master. That's like literally the only item in the game that we get without a jingle. Other than the one that we skip the jingle of. This right here is the Gentleman. The route I am doing is called Gentleman Ice Beam. It's a portmanteau of Gentleman and Ice Beam. The reason for this is we're going to be getting the Gentleman's candy. The way we do that is we beat the Gentleman, and then we grab the candy. And I'm also going to be using the move Ice Beam later. Who would have thought? The other alternative move would be Blizzard, which is faster, but also more dangerous. And this is the one game that I do not put up with that. I say, even though I do like every single dangerous thing other than switch to Blizzard route. Anyways, now we get a cutscene. Sour, please. There's no way to speed that up. Or if there is, I don't know it. And I'm gonna have to ask someone after the stream. Now what we're going to do is we're going to talk to an NPC for a very long time. And it's not going to progress the story. Basically, Resident Sleeper, he's talking about his Rapidash. He loves his Rapidash. And because we talked to him for so long, he gives us a bike. The bike is fast. And we really do like cycling. And so we're going to do that. Anyways, time for some menuing. We teach Charmander Dig. Now we swap our potions with our Repel. We teach Cut. Also to Charmander. We teach it over Scratch. Because that's the first thing in the inventory. Now we use a rare candy on B. And now we actually use Cut to get through here. And I've almost certainly forgotten something. Now we've got the cans. Cans are RNG. First one can be certain cans, second one can be certain cans, depending on where the first one was. Hey, second to last can. And I think this is a 50-50. There we go. Now I'm going to heal and save. Because the Lieutenant Surge fight is scary. There are like 4 things that Raichu can do that don't damage you, but like the 2 that don't can kill you. Thunderbolt doesn't affect you. So now we have 58 health, which is nice. So now we've got Thunderbolt. It tells us to teach it to an electric Pokemon. We're not going to do that. Now, because we've taught Charmander Dig, we can dig out of caves. We're going to dig out of a cave. What that's going to do Let's bring us back to the last Poké Center we visited. We visited this one right here. You know what else is right here? A bike shop. And that's awfully convenient. So now we've got a bike. What we're going to do with that is we're going to swap something up for our bike, and then we're going to teach Thunderbolt. Over double kick. That is the first move that we get that we are going to keep until the end of this run. This is the scariest fight in the run for most people. Not for me, I'm scared of a lot more things. But this is a fight in which you use Thrash, but it's 4 turns. And Thrash doesn't always go for 4 turns. Sometimes Thrash is a move that only lasts for 3 turns. And when Thrash ends, you're confused. Being confused is not great. You can hurt yourself a couple times in a row. You can get a bad move from your opponent that does damage to you, etc. Now thankfully we won't have to worry about that because this 4-turn Thrash has gone off without a hitch. I don't know why this girl thought that we were her boyfriend or something. I don't know. It's very interesting to say the least. The social customs of this world are not something that you can easily get accustomed to. We're going to Thrash again. This is a lot of what we're doing now. Thrashing about. Oh my. I'm not supposed to go in that patch of grass. I didn't know that I could encounter a Magnemite there. You learn something new every day, folks. I was supposed to be riding next to that patch of grass, but I'm bad at this game, so I didn't. This cave is a bit dark. Normally we'd use flash here if we were casuals. We're not casuals. So we just memorized the entire layout of the place. Did we just Gen 1 miss Bubble Beam? Bubble Beam is 100% accurate, but I think we just missed it there. That's a thing that can happen, as I've explained before, but I haven't really explained how, have I? Anyways, the way that Gen 1 misses work is accuracy in this game. For accuracy rolls, the game checks if your hit roll is below a certain value. So for a 100% accurate move, the value it checks is the maximum value of 255. However, if you hit a 255 exactly, that is not less than 255. And so you miss instead of hitting. That's my favorite text box of the game right there. I don't come here often, but I will fight you. I feel like it kind of summarizes my mood toward this game. That is the wrong move. and actually not very effective. Thankfully, it has used a good move instead of a bad move. A bad move would be Stun Spore. That might paralyze us. We're supposed to Thrash for that fight. I was supposed to use a second repel sooner than that, to avoid that text box. Unfortunately for me, I'm bad, and so I didn't. Now we're fighting our second to last Dark Trainer. This one's a hiker. He's got Geodudes and Grabblers. We're gonna hope that we're done Gen 1 missing Bubble Beam, because these ones can hurt if they get a chance to hit you. But they shouldn't get a chance to hit you most of the time. Anyways, you've been watching me for just over an hour at this point, so everybody stay hydrated. I go this way now. It's sometimes hard to remember which way you go in the dark. Now, in any case, the reason we're going this way is because it's the place logical progression dictates that we go. And also, we want fast travel because this is a speed run. So we're making as much of a beeline as we can towards that fast travel. Unfortunately, there's a few trainers in the way. Now, we already have some form of fast travel in Dig, but Dig isn't the most useful thing, because we can only use it in certain places. And also, it only takes us back to one place, it can't take us back to different places. Thankfully, it is absolutely required that we get something else. Why? At least I think it's absolutely required. I just went right over the tile that I could have found that on. Didn't miss that one, though. Those are two hidden items that are extremely difficult to find because there's no audio cues. So you want to use no visual cues, so you want to use an audio cue to find them. Anyways, now we're on to the hardest part of the run. By far. Shopping. We're going to buy 10 X accuracies. X accuracies are way overpowered in this game. We're also going to buy various amounts of other items for various different reasons. Then we're going to go upstairs. We're going to get a couple of things to drink. We're going to get fresh water. We're going to get soda pop. And we're going to give them to the girl. When you give this girl something to drink, she'll give you a TM. So we're going to get the TMs for Ice Beam, which is important, and Rock Slide, which is slightly less important, but nonetheless very useful. We're also going to get more fresh water because stay hydrated. We're going to get this Pokédoll. It's useful. Getting it saves a little bit of time over not getting it. We're going to buy TM7, the most important of the run. We're going to finally sell our nugget because we've remembered to. And then we are going to buy 10 super repels and 11 super potions. We're done shopping. We also can't turn upwards because we're bad. Also, we're supposed to be biking. Now we're not supposed to be biking, though. We don't need to bike anymore here. This girl is in a secret retreat. We promise not to tell anyone, and we get HM2. Now comes the most difficult menuing in the game. We're going to swap that with not that. That's why it's the most difficult menuing in the game. Super repels. We're going to use HM2. We're going to teach Pigeon to fly. That's the entire reason we've got Pidgey. We're going to teach Horn Drill over Horn Attack. Horn Drill is a one-hit KO move. It's got 5 uses and low accuracy. Thankfully for the accuracy part, we have that little thing that we've got to help us in our 10x accuracies. That was the wrong move to teach that over, but I can just teach this next thing over a different move, and then swap them in battle. These are the pro strats that you came here to see today. There we go. Now we've got 3 of the moves we're going to have the entire run. And now we're going to fly to Lavender Town. We can only fly to places we've been, but thankfully we were in Lavender Town for about 5 seconds. So we've been there. I'm going to save here because I don't remember my health. And this can get scary. I think a crit 5-turn can kill from pretty much anything. Or anything that you would reasonably have here. And I have less than I would probably reasonably have here. This fight, we're going to show off the power of X accuracy. Furo has used Growl, but we don't care because we have Horn Drills. Now, Horn Drill is a one-hit KO move, and X accuracies in this game do not just improve your accuracy a little bit. They make every move that you use 100% accurate. In fact, even better than 100% accurate. It literally cannot miss. And as I've said before, 100% accuracy moves can miss in this game. So now we've got a normally inaccurate move that one-hit KOs, and now it is never going to miss ever. Or at least for the duration of the fight. Now we're going through the tower. We're going to be cursed with this person, Qua. I have no idea what that means, but they say it, so we're going to do it. I've used the wrong move because my moves are in the wrong places. It's licked me and it can paralyze me. Thankfully it didn't. We're supposed to use Rock Slide here. Rock Slide is a 90% accurate move. We're going to use it 4 times, which means in total we have a 34.39% chance to miss at least one of them. Now, because we've hit the first 2, that drops to an 81% chance. That's the one thing I'm good at, math. Now, because we're about to stand on these squares, we're going to get a full heal and all of our moves fully restored. And that helps because we didn't have 5 horn drills, and now we do have 5 horn drills. Also, our health was a bit low and scary. Now, a question you may be asking if you've played this casually like I didn't is, but Orucs, how are you going to get to past the end of the Pokemon tower without having the Sylph Scope? And the answer is, I don't know how you get through it normally with the Sylph Scope. I just use, well, we're going to see. What we're going to do here is on this fight right here, which is scripted in this encounter. It's a ghost that we can't ID. We're going to use, after we swap some things, a Pokédoll. That's just going to end the encounter immediately and tell us what the ghost was. Now I'm adjusting my entire setup because I've grown incredibly uncomfortable over the past couple minutes. So we've just got the Poke Flute. It's absolutely required for progression. And now we're going to Celadon. We're going to heal here. Then we're going to get the most awkward text box in the world. Then we're going to use the bike. Now we bike into here. At this point, I've been live for just over an hour, 15 minutes, and you should have consumed at least 5 ounces of water, which is 150 milliliters for optimal hydration. We are in Silphco. Silphco has been taken over by Rocket, apparently. I wouldn't know. I've never played this game casually. This guy has him a choke. We don't like that. So we're just gonna X accuracy, 1-hit KO this Machoke. I've just used an X accuracy twice. That's not what you're supposed to do. I suppose I'm going to have to do something later about that. Now we're going to pick up these in a very specific order. And we're going to menu. Now we finally have all 4 moves that we're going to have for the rest of the game. We're also going to use that Carbos, which gives us speed up. And then we're going to go the wrong way. There we go. Anyways, we beat that guy to get the card key. And then we use the card key to get through doors. Bingo! Bingo! Gonna save before this fight. Slash has a 100% critical rate. Which means it will not critical just as often as it would normally not hit, being 100% move. Which means that the rarest thing that you will get in this game is Sand/Slash missing a crit. Other than some other crazy stuff with RNG manips, but craziest move sequence that you will get, the rarest. Why is Kadabra's speed higher than ours? I don't know. I don't know why Kadabra's speed is higher than ours. Is that a speed tie? That's something that I didn't expect. Have I forgotten something? I don't think I've forgotten something. I used the Carbos. Interesting. I don't think I've fought any optionals, which can change things. Yeah. That's something that I'm not used to, and I'm not certain why that happened. Did I forget to use the Carbos? I swear I used the Carbos. Meh. It doesn't matter. We're going to talk to this guy and get a Lapras. He talks for a very long time. I should have healed before this fight. I think Meowth might know Quick Attack. I don't remember though. We definitely need to heal before this fight. I was supposed to use an X attack before that. I'm just gonna do that now. It's going to growl. I think that's going to matter. Yes. Okay. I don't know how this will play out. I have no idea what is happening right now. Actually, wait a second. I'm going to do the required stuff first, and then figure out what I need to do after that. Oh yes, I have another menu coming up, so I will do it during that menu. But first, I accidentally used an extra X attack. So I'm just gonna get another one real quick. This is what I like to call backup strats. Or an extra X accuracy, rather. You know what? Another extra just in case. So that's what the entire reason the flute was necessary. It's also helpful in several other cases. Now we just run away from the Snorlax. Don't know how it disappeared, but I won't judge. Now I'm going to go a while without touching the controls again, so I can give my hands a break. Stretch out a bit. And we're back. So now we're going to the Safari Zone. The Safari Zone is where we're going to actually not catch anything at all, and instead just make a beeline for the necessary progression items. And also the safety items like full restores. And also that random TM that we actually never use. Now, one of the things about our inventory right now is that we're managing it very carefully. We want to have an exactly full inventory after we pick up this HM. And I believe we've done that. Now we dig out of the Safari Zone, and because we've been to Fuchsia, we fly to Fuchsia. And it's actually faster to walk this short distance than to menu to the bike and bike it. Also, Repel wears off at a weird time there. Anyways, our main move that we're going to be using the most of from this point forward is going to be Earthquake. Whenever we're not using Earthquake, it's usually something that we can't just kill with an Earthquake. Or even with 2 Earthquakes, in some cases. Or just something that has other moves more effective. Oh, you know what? I remember why I was slower in that fight. I was slower in the fight against Rival because I was supposed to use next speed earlier. We're going to save before the fight against Koga. He has the poison and sleep techniques. Thankfully, we're a poison type, and so we can't be poisoned. Okay, we don't want to have to deal with that, so we're gonna Horn Drill it. When Koga uses an X attack, things can get scary. We also use an X speed in this fight. And then we Horn Drill everything else. There's going to be a lot of fights from here on out that we're going to use this combination. of X speed and horn drill. So now, you saw at the very end of that, Koga said, "Make room for this child." That is because we don't have any room left in our inventory for the TM that he wants to give us. And it'll save time overall to have that extra space, or that lack of extra space rather, simply because if we don't have space, we don't get the jingle every time from someone giving us an item. So I'm not going to save before Sabrina because literally nothing can go wrong here unless I'm an idiot. So I should have saved before Sabrina. But this Abra knows Flash. It also knows Flash and Flash. On occasion it'll use Flash though. So we X accuracy, we X speed. We Earthquake, Earthquake, Horn Drill. And now we can actually dig out of this gem. So we're going to do that. Now we're going to fly to Pallet Town. And now we have more menuing. Heal to full for safety. Use your elixir. And then I forgot to get an HM, so I'm going to do that right now. After that fight, you're supposed to get this HM. I'm giving the gold teeth to the warden. I'd probably remember that more often if I played the game casually. Now we're going to teach Lapras Strength. And we're going to teach Lapras Surf. And then we are going to not Carbos. We're going to Rare Candy on that, on B 3 times. So now we are at level 44, and we surf. Now we're going to have to use a repel early, potentially. The surfing song is, in my opinion, the second best song on the entire soundtrack of this game. The only thing that it is behind is Rival's theme. Okay, that's earlier than I had anticipated. Now, we've got a couple of things to pick up in here. We're going to get a rare candy. We're then going to get a rare candy. Finally, we're going to pick this secret key up. But first, we're going to use the rare candies. Specifically on Nidoking. If we use them on Lapras, that's very bad. Now we get the secret key, we dig out of this place, Pokemon Mansion, and we fly to Cinnabar Island. This is the quiz round. You have to answer the questions right. If you answer the questions wrong, then you fail. I actually don't remember all of the answers to the questions, so sometimes I have to just read them. Anyways, this is the last question. I was supposed to save before this fight. I did not, and so I will probably pay for that. Who knows? Things could go well also. Now we're going to use an X attack here. Ninetales has used Confuse Ray, so I believe I want to switch out for Pidgey. Yeah. That's what we want. Now we should no longer be confused. Also, I think we're going to need to use an X attack again. You know what? Screw it. I think that was the last thing that could have killed us anyways. In any case, that was the last thing in... That was our last X attack, and so... I'm going to die in this fight. Full restore. This is why we like full restores. Because of all the stuff that happened there, I am going to end up picking up Blaine's TM. I don't even know what it is. I've never gotten it before, as far as I know. That one. Now, this entire time we've been skipping a gym. Also, I'm just a reminder, bad at menuing. Who could have thought? So now we're in Erica's gym. We've skipped it this entire time. We're finally coming in to beat it. So that's Erica. Grass types, and ice is super effective against grass. And what do you know, we have an ice type move. Wow, who could have predicted this? That's where I wanted to fly. Viridian City. Because now the gym leader is back. Giovanni has returned. This is a cool guy. Or a cool trainer, rather. So now that we've defeated these two trainers, we're going to get out of this gym. The reason for that is because when we leave the gym, the trainers' positions are reset, but whether they have fought you or not is not. So now we can get past this guy and go straight to Giovanni. We're definitely going to need to save before Giovanni. Giovanni is a fight that you can die on extremely easily. Anyways, that Giovanni went incredibly well. Double fissure from the Doug trio is about as good as you can hope for. So now we have our final rival fight. Before the end. Pseudo, have you had the title wrong this whole time? Pseudo-Terres. Ah, I see. Classic transposition error. That's one that'll get you. Anyways, he's all loosened up and I've just beaten them, but apparently I need more practice. You know what, that makes sense enough. Now we're on Victory Road. That was incorrect. Now, I'm going to do something here. Just for extra safety. Going to pick up an item that normally doesn't get picked up. Because I do a lot of dumb things. Now Lapis is going to get to use Strength. This is the boulder puzzle. And hopefully I'm going to get to show off a good number of swag boulders. Now if I were running on a route where I had lower XP, I would have a chance of getting an encounter every time I did this. Thankfully I'm not, so I can just go for swag for days. So the way a swag boulder works is you run into the boulder and then you switch directions. So I run into the boulder facing forward and then I switch to holding, or left rather as it were, and then I switch to left down to buffer that right before I hit the boulder for those strings, and it'll differ depending on what direction I'm hitting the boulder and what direction the wall is. If there's no wall, it doesn't work, because then you just buffer the input. There was a moth in my room. I'm not the biggest fan of moth. It's honestly a bit distracting. Oh, it just landed on me. Lovely. Last hidden item of the run is that full restore in that rock right there. So now we have finally reached the end. So the first thing we're going to do is get to the PC and deposit all of our HM friends. We don't need them anymore. And they slow down this text box, or this thing right here, and also the end credits. And that's an awkward text box. So now after all that's done, it is on to the Elite Four. We're going to save before all of these fights, pretty much. Except the second one if I'm on good health. Now, Lorelei is the biggest threat of the four, in my opinion, because of Dugong's Bubble Beam crit possibility. If Dugong crits Bubble Beam, it can kill us very easily. Now we're going to, thankfully, as long as our first attack, as long as Lorelei's first attack does not kill us, none of them will. Because Lorelei never gets another chance to attack. We outspeed every other Pokemon on her team, and Horndrill cannot miss with the X accuracy. Now we're going to actually remember to do the correct things. I have, on multiple occasions, forgotten to use this elixir right there. I probably should have used the max ether for safety instead, but you know what?
It's gonna turn out fine. Main reason I got the max ether is because of this fight in general anyways. Now Hitmonchan is just not a threat at all, really. So we use the X accuracy there. Yeah, Thunder Punch is a electric type, so... Oh. That was not supposed to be an Earthquake. That was supposed to be a Hornbill. Yeah. It doesn't really matter much on Ice Beam. So now we have Agatha. People say that Agatha isn't bad, but they clearly haven't watched my stream ever, because Agatha never goes right for me. So I'm going to save before this, as I definitely should. Supersonic failing is exactly what we want there. I have... completely forgotten what moves I am supposed to use in this fight. But I'm pretty sure I've nailed it. Now the game is going to move us on our own through this corridor, which is nice. And then we fight Lance. Lance is the toughest of the Elite Four. Definitely need to be at full health for that. Especially since we have all these extra potions lying around. Anything else I need? No. Just save. So Gyarados can kill us with Hydro Pump. If it crits, it will kill. It did not just do that, so we're going to use Thunderbolt. Oh, I was supposed to use an X speed somewhere, I think. I was definitely supposed to use an X speed. I was supposed to use an X speed on the first Dragonair. Doesn't matter, I had good enough health to tank a fly. Welp. We've still got a full restore, so we're going to use that. Yeah, that was just a 9,000 IQ red bar setup. We're going to save. And this is the rival. Just like Lance, just like Lorelei, if Jay crits me with this first attack, I'm just dead and there's nothing I can do. Except reset. Also, animations are turned on for this last fight. I believe this is the correct one. Oh, that's always so stressful. This should be GG's as long as I remember the correct moves to use. I did use an X accuracy. And now Horn Drill the Cloister, and then we Earthquake the Eevee, or the Flareon. And that's the last fight of the game. All that's left now is the credits sequence. Or the pre-credits end sequence. At this point, it's all just mashing. Basically, Professor Oak comes in, congratulates us. He came over here because his grandson Jay, he heard that he was the champion. But we're already the champion now, and he's mad at Jay because Jay doesn't understand something about true meaning of friendship. And then Oak's like, oh hey, by the way, this is the Hall of Fame. It's just a computer. You're going to be honored here and recorded with all your Pokemon. Guess what? We only have one Pokemon, so that's going to take a less amount of time than it would otherwise. And now we're going to be berated for not looking at all the Pokemon. And that's time. So there we go with that run. Very glad to have been able to run this category of this game. I've just picked this up recently, and there's like 7 people more qualified to do this than me in the Insomniacs, so I suppose I'm glad that none of them submitted it. In all seriousness, it was great to be able to run here. Huge shout out to the entire Pokemon Yellow community, to all of us who race, pretty much who raced every day this summer that we could. We had some amazing 7-way races at some point, a couple times. Huge shout outs to Pseudo for putting everything together here. Shout outs to everyone who's been so incredibly helpful in this community. Both the Pokemon community in general and the Insomniacs. And I suppose I have another run coming up. So I'm gonna go ahead and get set up for that. And I'll see you guys again very, very soon.